Hello, hi guys, hi. Thank you everybody for being here. We are very excited to show you what it's like in Bounties. We aim to transform the software development collaboration, and we are just very excited for your time, for listening to us, and we want to show you the platform. I'm going to start a little bit with the introduction about myself. I'm Enrique Gamboa. I'm originally from Mexico City. I was just raised and born in the neighborhood just right next door. It's called Tlatelolco. So if you guys notice, I have like thick accent. If you cannot understand me, please raise your hand. I'm going to be very happy just to explain myself again. But a little bit about my background. I studied computer science here in Mexico, and then I started my journey. I moved to the United States 10 years ago, and I've been there since the past 10 years. I'm currently living in Boston. I did my master's in data science, so I've been coding for the past 10 years, more or less. But something that really moves me, something that I'm very excited about, is about Bitcoin. It's about blockchain and technology. I think that I have a responsibility to bring technology to Mexico, and so I'm very happy that Yopaki and PlebLab and all the sponsors are right now doing this, because if something needs Mexico and Latin America, is technology, and specifically blockchain can change things for good. So I'm very excited that I'm here standing up to you. My parents, my family is right now listening to this, so gracias, muchas gracias, mamá, papá, hermano, Cami. Now I'm just gonna kick this out to Mike. He's gonna present the rest of the team.
Beautifully said, Enrique. Hello everyone. My name's Mike Abramo. I'm from Boston. I don't really have as cool or as accredited background as Enrique over here. I kind of just think of myself more as kind of like an average Joe. I probably got into crypto like the worst way imaginable. Basically just investing in all these, really dumb altcoins, whatever the YouTubers were showing at the time. I bought it and definitely didn't make any money. However, after all of that, I somehow got a job doing tokenomics research and consulting. It's kind of funny how, things turn out. Anyways, while I was doing the tokenomics research, I really wanted to, better understand the development aspects of this entire niche. So I started to teach myself how to code, and that's actually where I met Enrique and the rest of our co-founders, just going to local hackerspaces and just learning from each other. As you see here, it's just me and Enrique here, but we have two other co-founders, and these two are, the real brains behind Lightning Bounties. They do a lot of the back-end development, the development in general, and just make everything run really smoothly. So they're watching over us right now, making sure me and Enrique don't mess anything up. So let me start with Pavel over here. So Pavel is the youngest out of us, but he perhaps has the most coding experience out of any of us. He does a lot of the back-end infrastructure, a lot of the security, the GitHub authorizations, and he's been coding since he was age 13. Mind you, he was coding for fun at age 13, so I'll just leave it at that. That's Pavel, he's a great guy. And then we have Will Sutton. So Will is 100% responsible for Orange Pill and me and Enrique. Me and Enrique are kind of, we started off developing on Ethereum-based applications. And then Will was always the Bitcoin maxi, and he would always show us really cool Lightning apps like Stacker News, Noster, and even introduced us to PlebLab. And then I still remember that day. It was about like 5 months ago. What did Will texted us? What was that, like 11:30 at night on a Wednesday? Yeah, what was he doing? He texted us at 11:30 at night. He's like, Enrique, or Mike, it's the exact same message, right? MIT Bitcoin Hackathon, Friday, 6 p.m., see you there. I was like, all right, I guess we got plans for the weekend. Well, anyways, we started going. We ended up going. I thought it was just going to be like a fun event where we just hang out, catch up, hang out with fellow Bitcoiners. We ended up becoming something a little bit more. We ended up taking home the entire prize. And that's just basically a little bit of background about Lightning Bounties. And I'm going to throw it over to Enrique to talk about the entire idea behind it.
Thank you, Mike. So, as Mike said, this idea came out from a hackathon. We won the first prize, and after we got such a good feedback, we decided that we needed to take this idea into one company. We think we can bring a lot of value, not just for software development, but in general to the world. And this diagram explain in the very minimalistic way what is Lightning Bounties. We're using a collaboration tool. In this case, we are based on GitHub, and we are using the Lightning Network to create international payments. That equals to Lightning Bounties. We incentivize collaboration. We see it different ways. I like to see this as the Airbnb or the Uber of software developers. Mike sees those more like a Tinder for software development. but the thing here is like we want to connect organizations that have GitHub or projects on open source with developers all over the world. Enabling international payments, we can open this in a major scale. With that being said, I'm gonna just jump into the next slide when we're gonna talk about a little bit about the customer targets for Lightning Bounties.
Tinder, really? I made you match it. Anyways, all right. So we noticed by like analyzing other bug bounty platforms that bug bounty platforms that kind of specialize in a certain niche, let's just say design ones, will attract artists. So what do you expect from Lightning Bounties? What type of bounties will you see in the future? What type of bounties can you see now? So you'll have anything from your traditional bug bounties, like, hey, I have an e-commerce site and I want to add a search function, search by sweater color rather than just by the product name or something like that. That would be an enhancement, and that's something that, somebody who's been developing for a couple years could be able to successfully fix. We also have, specialty bug bounties, so like think of something that is critical infrastructure, which you'll see a lot in like Ethereum smart contracts, where it's just mission critical. The bug needs to get fixed as soon as possible before people lose a lot of funds. And we already have some of those types of talent that's already been solving bugs on Lightning Bounties. But even if you're not like the most technical minded and you don't know how to code that well, we have bounties for everybody, really, because if you have the time and if you have the passion and you want to learn, you should be able to contribute to open source. And Lightning Bounties, we really want to welcome that, So we could think of things like, art and design. Me personally, I've been, doing a lot of the design work, and I'm just learning on the job and everything, and making videos, content. Those are all things that I would rather, just streamline to somebody more talented and save myself a lot more time so I could, go to more Bitcoin meetups and, learn a lot more about this awesome infrastructure. So that's something that you'll be seeing in our Lightning Bounties platform. And also just little things like documentation, like that is something that is always a good first issue. I remember when I was learning the code, I would just continuously research the documentation, and I would always see just little tiny typos and everything, but I didn't know how to contribute to fix those. So I think that's like a good way to get your feet wet, and that's something that we will constantly be evolving, and that's not only with the Lightning Bounties, but for every project out there. I think they can all relate to, how much of a stress it can be to update documentation. So yeah, Enrique will show you guys how it works.
Thank you, Mike. So as Mike explained it, on the past slides, we have some use cases of how Lightning Bounties can be used, right? But on Lightning Bounties, we're targeting two types of users specifically. The bounty posters, which can be any of the companies that you see on the left side, can be, contributions for any open source projects such as Hugging Face or Linux or PyTorch, any issue or any new thing that you want to add to the open source project, right? Or it can be anybody that has a GitHub open repo, like most of the companies that today are presenting here on the Startup Day, they might have an open repo. So all these users fit into our platform. And the way it works is super easy. We are utilizing the GitHub functionality. So you just create one issue on GitHub, copy paste that issue, post it in our platform, and then you just add the amount of sats, in this case the reward that you want this bug or this issue to be fixed, right? That brings me to the other type of users, which are developers. Developers from all over the world enabling Bitcoin as payment. They can just come and participate into this network. And the way it works is very easy. They will just go to Lightning Bounties. They will look all the bounties that are available. They're going to pick the one that they are more easy for them to develop. After they do that, they will just work on the code, create a pull request on GitHub, and when the pull request get approved by the admin of the repo, automatically they will get one notification by GitHub. Then they can go to the platform and then just claim their reward on sats. So all these steps are going to be way more easier, and for you guys are going to be more clear. We have a live demo for you to show you. Very simple, very quick. And this is right now our current production application. It's app.lightningbounties.com. You guys can scan this QR code and we'll take you to the platform as well. So with that being said, I'm just going to kick really quick the live demo. So for the live demo, we were thinking something very simple, right? So we have this website. It's a very simple website. It's just HTML and CSS. The website has Viva Mexico and some images and logos from the partnership of today. So I'm just going to play two roles for you guys to understand me. Right now, I'm going to be the admin of the repo, the guy who needs code, and I'm going to be also the developer, the guy who actually wants to work on this, right? So I'm going to be like, all right, I have already right here my repository. This is my personal repository where I have this code. It's just a simple HTML and CSS, if you guys are familiar with that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be like, I'm going to create one issue. I have already my notes prepared, so let me just get back here. I'm going to create a new issue. The new issue is going to be change the website as title. Then the description is going to be, please change the title of the website from Viva Mexico to Viva Bitcoin, right? And the way that I'm going to do it is I'm just going to actually make sure that for the developer, it's easy enough to understand. And I will just add a little, hint of what is exactly what I want to change. So I'm going to change this. I'm just going to paste it back into my GitHub issue. And that's it, right? I automatically am able to just see the issue here. It's a simple issue. You will find plenty of this into GitHub. So now let's go back to my platform. This is Lightning Bounties. Lightning Bounties integrates with GitHub in many ways. Even the way that you can get access to this platform is just connecting directly here. So we have the integration ready. So you guys are going to be able how easily you just can connect. It's asking me for permission. And now it's telling me, I'm going to give you a little bit of a walkthrough of the platform. You guys can see here different bounties that have been posted. Some of them have been already rewarded. And something that is very cool is that we enable crowdfunding. So meaning that not just one person can post a reward for one issue, but many of them. So we want to create a community that can help these issues. So with that being said, it's pretty simple. Right now, this is an MVP. And what we have here is just on the feed, just the issues, what developers can work on. Me, as the guy who needs code, I'm going to just show you how to deposit some sats. Let's say I'm going to just add 1,000 sats. So behind the hood, we're utilizing the Lightning Network, which just create one invoice. So I'm going to use my favorite wallet. In this case, I use Breeze. And I'm just going to open my Breeze wallet. I'm just going to scan this QR code. And notice how right now I have 2,000 sats. One quick second. I have 2,000 sats. I'm processing right now the payment. The payment was approved, and now I have 3,000 sats. It's pretty simple. Like all the payment system is already embedded. And if I go to my payment history, I can see how I add 1,000 sats. So now that I have enough sats, let's post this issue that I need to be fixed here. So I just paste it here, and let's say I'm going to add 500 sats for whoever wants to fix this, right? That's it. Simple enough. now our issue is posted in our platform. Now, I'm gonna switch gears and I'm gonna turn into the developer, right? Now, I'm the developer. You guys can see this is a completely different account. It has a green skull. And me, the developer, I'm already signed in here. So you guys can, I can come here and see which are the bounties that have been posted. So me, the developer, I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna be like, all right, this doesn't look that bad. Like just change Viva Mexico for Viva Bitcoin. Easy peasy, I can make that shit, right? So then I'm just gonna come here. I'm just gonna open here, and that's gonna take me to the GitHub. So on the GitHub, automatically, I'm gonna be able to see the main repo. So I'm gonna walk you, if you guys are not that familiar, I'm gonna be very explicit on how the developer will fix this. The first thing that we'll do is fork the repo, meaning that I'm making mine this repo, right? Me, the developer. Now I'm gonna work on this. I'm gonna come back to my index, and I'm gonna just utilize the GitHub functionality, right? So I'm gonna come here, and I'm gonna say Viva, oops, I'm sorry. I missed one step. And the step was sync the fork with the latest code, right? So I sync the code, now I have the latest code. I was doing some demos earlier. So when I come here, I'm gonna be able to see Viva Mexico. So I'm just gonna change this to Viva Bitcoin, right? I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna commit my changes, and I'm the developer, remember guys. Right now I'm the guy who's working on this bounty. So after I finish my change of codes, I'm gonna just come here and I'm gonna create a new pull request. And I'm gonna just tell to the guy who posed this issue, hey dude, the code has been fixed. And then I'm gonna say close the number 18. This is the latest issue that I'm creating. So now I'm just creating the pull request, and again I'm gonna switch a little bit like between personas here. Me, the developer, just push the changes to the main repo owner. So the main repo owner, if I go back, he just got one pull request, and the pull request is like from the developer, right? Hey, dude, the code has been fixed. So me, the admin, I'm gonna just come back, see the code, and he's like, yeah, he changed it from Viva Mexico to Viva Bitcoin. That's exactly what I want. So perfect, let's accept this. So I'm just gonna come here, merge the pull request. I'm gonna say, yes, this is exactly what I want. So now let's see the website. So if I refresh my website, there you go.
Viva Bitcoin!
Viva Bitcoin! Now we have this change, right? We have made this change exactly as I wanted it. Now the developer can come and say, hell yeah, this is exactly what I wanted it. Now I can get regarded in sats. So I noticed that my pull request is at 19, so I'm gonna switch back into the developer mode. Now I'm the developer again, getting back here, and I'm gonna be like, hey, give me these 500 sats. Right now I have just 10. So I'm just gonna be here. I'm just gonna make sure which was the pull request, is the number 19. So you just have to say here, I did the pull request 19. And that's it. Automatically, I get these sats. And if you guys see, now my payment went from 10 sats to 510 sats. So pretty much that's it with the demo. I don't want to bore you guys with more technical stuff. I'm just going to continue with the presentation where Mike is going to explain why Lightning Bounties is different than another bounty platform.
Jeez. All right. Wow. That was impressive. Can we give it up for Enrique? Well, God. Oh man, I can't follow that up. Thanks, Enrique. So basically, as you can see from Enrique's demo, Lightning Bounties is designed to be as easy to use as possible. We really leverage GitHub to use their existing workflows as much as possible. That's where 99.9% of developers collaborate on. And with Lightning Bounties, you just got to go to app.lightningbounties.com. Copy and paste that URL issue, copy and paste the URL of the issue on your repo, and then just set the amount of sats that you want to pay. to have that issue resolved. And then just bounty hunters from all over the world will be able to, work on the code. And then once a solution is found, you accept the pull request, and the satoshis, the sats, get directly deposited into that wallet. It's no need to wait for banks, no need to wait, no high transaction fees, nothing like that. And one of the other things that we really want to highlight that Enrique touched on earlier in the demo is just the crowdfunding aspect. We really do believe that this is really important, especially because there's a lot of critical infrastructure, especially in the open source community repos, that need more attention, but the lack of funding is kind of just unsustainable for them. So this is just kind of a way in which a whole community could just throw a certain amount of sats together and just try to get the issue to be fixed more accelerated. The more sats on an issue, the more eyeballs are going to see it, and the more bounty hunters that are going to go and try to fix that code. And then lastly, our co-founder Pavel and Enrique really, I think this is real, open source is cool, guys, So contributing in open source is really, really badass. How do I say this? I notice in other bug bounty platforms, there'll be a top 5 bounty hunters, and then they're solving all these codes, and everybody knows them by their bounty hunter name, their tag name, and they get so many. That just opens up so many opportunities, so many doors for them for future opportunity, for jobs and for future bounties, and in turn, projects that post on bug bounty platforms or Lightning, our platform as well, will have instant access to these talented developers, in which they can have direct access to have them, for other opportunities, whether it's jobs, freelance work, fixing future bounties, So it's kind of just like this self-sustaining ecosystem while propping up, the Lightning Network and open source development. So, that's kind of the way, we really see this entire flywheel going around. So I'll kick it over to Enrique and let you guys know how you guys can contribute.
Thanks, Mike. So we're just approaching to the end of the presentation. At this point, I want to ask you guys, everybody here in the audience, for some help. We, 4 of us, we're bootstrapping this company since we started it. So we are requiring so many things. The first thing is feedback. We want feedback from you. We want to know what you think about this. That is going to be gold for us because nothing is going to stop us right now. We're going to keep working on Lightning Bounties. The second thing we're looking is partnerships and collaborations. As the same way we're bootstrapping this, it's difficult right now to keep up with everything. We would like to work with somebody, get some partnership. Can be monetary, can be financial, can be even somebody has issues with their code. Post these issues in our platform. We would love to connect you with the right developer for you to get this issue, fixed. Finally, Mike is going to tell a little bit about more about the collaboration.
Oh, hey. Thanks, Enrique. Yeah, there's multiple ways to support Lightning Bounties. Like Enrique said, we're just some guys that are just bootstrapping this. But if you're interested in funding open source repos or just trying to expedite bug fixes, you can always just copy and paste the issue URL and post it on Lightning Bounties, and then just fund it with the amount of sats that you'd like. And also, just because we know that not everybody has a GitHub or doesn't have the time to go through all these things. We actually even have a form, like a physical paper form that I have in my backpack over there that you could just fill out, just the amount of, what the project is. And, if you guys are interested in that or want to learn anything further, feel free to, talk to Enrique or myself. We're going to be here all weekend. And for those of you at home watching on YouTube, feel free to just email us at founders@lightningbounties.com.
Well, with that being said, we just want to say gracias. Thank you so much for your attention and your time. We really appreciate that. And if you guys have any questions, we want to open the floor for you guys just to answer anything that you are curious about.
We've got a question.
One thing I didn't quite get is if it's only the developers that can post the bounty. Like, for example, if I want to donate some sats to some change in Bitcoin, like Dandelion or whatever, that is sort of has been discussed, but nobody's working on it maybe, and I want to donate some sats to that. Can I start that initiative, or does one of the core developers have to post it, or how would that work?
You got this? I got this one.
All right. So like, so if I heard it correctly, so is this like for like a bug fix, or is it just donating directly to like an open source initiative?
No, specific fix.
Oh, so like, there's two ways of doing that. Like, so you'll be able to take, usually on GitHub, they'll have an issue URL for people to fix with like extensive documentation. And the cool thing about Lightning bounties is you just be able to copy and paste that URL link, and then just on our platform, and then put in the amount denominated in sats and how much you'd like to, put towards that fix. So when a bounty hunter comes and sees that reward, once that project's owners see that and they're like, okay, they fixed the solution, they'll merge the pull request and they'll instantly get your generous donation.
Let me add something. Just adding to that, so basically if whatever you want to put the reward on is on GitHub, it's possible to do it.
Hey guys, congrats on what you built. So I've seen a lot of Bounties projects come out. I think you touched on how you're differentiating, but could you maybe share what are the problems with other Bounties programs that are, where they're insufficient, maybe other ones that you've studied and how you're trying to build off that?
Perfect, Mike, we'll get this one.
Oh yeah. So there's quite a few problems with bug bounty platforms. What do I like?
Top 2, top 3, I don't know.
Let's see. So like the high barrier for entry for a lot of bug bounty platforms, like you go to like some of the really most popular ones like in Web3, Immunify. It just seems as though that those bounties, there's not a lot of good first issues. There's not a lot of like documentation fixes. They're a lot more like smart contract related. Me as a smart contract developer, it took me like about 1.5 years, 2 years to even grasp, how to make my own smart contracts. And that's the majority of them on Immunify. So that's one problem. And then another one is just with the, let's just talk about like traditional Web 2 platforms, like BugCrowd, HackerOne. They're American based, right? So when you participate in them, like yes, let's just say you're from Mexico, India, wherever, you're able to still participate. However, by the time that you fix the code, and you get your money, you're going to have to get that U.S. dollars, that currency denominated in U.S. dollar. You're going to have it wired over to your country, which could take 3 to 5 days. And in between there could be holdups and financial restraints like banking fees, like banking fees and just wire transfer fees, remittance fees. And lastly, that could take 3 to 5 days, maybe, sometimes even weeks. And there's just a lot of, it just seems like the way that open source development is, where it's just free and borderless for the world, the same way Bitcoin is, like we want to just kind of make that the same for bug bounty platforms.
I want to add something else. Mm-hmm. Just adding to your question, something that makes us different, it's, by my point of view, 2 things. First, it's very easy to use. We are utilizing GitHub, so we are not reinventing the wheel. A GitHub issue is a GitHub issue. So we are not like making any other logic or any other system behind it. Just we are building on top of GitHub. That makes it very easy.
You're keeping it simple.
Exactly. And another thing that makes us completely different, and I think is a very cool feature, is that we crowdfund, right? Like meaning that not just one person is going to post like a issue, like a reward on this issue, right? It can be one person, can be 5 person, can be a complete community that really wants this feature be available, or just a fix. You know what I mean? So that's what I think.
Thanks, guys.
Any other questions before we move on? All right, let's give them one more round of applause.